for Cure. Coming into this, herO is the favorite player, but we'll see if Cure can keep that momentum going after bringing down Max. We'll see how he feels coming up against, oh boy, the best Protoss in the world. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing T1. It is herO. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Here we go, and welcome to 10,000 feet. So 10,000 feet is one of the smaller maps in the map pool. Aggression is favored here, and move outs, they move out very, very quickly. The rush distance by ground is the shortest than any other map in the map pool, so very short rush distance by ground. But there's a bit of a give and take. On the one hand, yes, the rush distance by ground is very short. That is true. So reinforcements, they arrive that much faster. But I would say that your 3-base layout here, when it comes to your base layout, is more secure than on other maps. We bring this up all the time, but typically your bases are, imagine this 3-base setup here, where you have your 3rd base on the left hand side, your natural here on the right, and there are entrances into the 3rd, and there are also there are other entrances into the natural. But specifically on this map, you can take the forward base, you can take the forward expansion, you can park your army here at your 3rd, and it protects your natural at the same time. So it's a much more secure 3-base setup. So the bases are a little bit more congested, right? They're closer together, they're more consolidated, maybe that's a better way of putting it. They're more consolidated. Same with your 4th base. They're all close together, and there are limited attack paths into those expansions. As these mineral patches are typically not mined out until much later in the game. Much later. Meanwhile, economic opener. Economic started a Cure, going for a Rax expand. Single gas. You can see herO being annoying, and I believe herO, he does force the CC.
Command center upgrade complete.
Is that a little bit off center? Potentially. Even if it is, we can always just lift and land. So now we're going to be settling in. Again, typically herO, he is a little more assertive and aggressive in PvT. More so than Max. We did point out that last series, Max 2 games in a row, he went 3-gate blink. He went for a very safe opener. We'll see if herO commits into 4-gate blink stalker, if he cuts corners and goes 2 gates. But now this is Twilight Council. Oh, meanwhile, Cure going for the tech lab and also into early Cyclone. So this is just a safe way to play, safe way to follow up after an economic start. Oh, okay, so he works towards his Cyclone, but that is a 2nd Rax. Yeah, my attention. So a hidden 2nd Rax here. Typically, if you delay your starport and if you go for extra Raxes, that's usually indicative of aggression and sometimes indicative of all-ins. So right now we're waiting for a 3rd Rax. SCV's in position. This looks more like a starport. No, there's a 2nd. Yeah, another Rax. So 3 Rax. 3 Rax set up before the starport. Hyper aggression. This is going to be leading into an early stim timing. Early stim, mass marine, mass marauder, and potentially we can also pull the boys and just turn this into a 2-base all-in, or we could go for a starport into a later 3rd CC. This is aggressive, but not necessarily all-in yet. But regardless, hyper aggressive, and it's on herO to figure out what's going on. herO, he throws down 2 gates at his natural, back in the main base, 1 gateway as well, so 3-gate blink, very safe opener. If you recall, Max in his series, he was going 3-gate blink every game as well, but actually herO is going for a delayed robo. So greedier build by herO. If you remember, we actually brought this up last game on Tourmaline, but again, herO, he's delaying his robo, faster expansion instead, so this is a little bit greedier here. And this means that herO, he will have that edge coming into a longer game, but will it even be a longer game? Hallucination scouts! ADL Scout does confirm he sees all the Raxes, he sees them, he sees combat shields. herO knows. herO, he now knows how much danger he's in. herO, he immediately moves out, he has to slow down the push. Pick away at the Marines, pick away at the Marauders. Starport is on the way, so we are going into medevacs. But again, herO, has he been too greedy? Charge begins. It's going to be ideal. Picks off 2 Marines. Nice snipes out of herO. Ooh, he gets caught out. Oh my god. Just barely not. Breaks the lock on. herO blinks away. As hero's getting the extra gateway. So his response here is not to go into a robo, into a mortal production. His response is to go into a mass gateway and mass charge setup. Ooh, do you see what I see? 2 more maxes. So we mentioned earlier how seeing a 3 max setup here isn't exactly confirming a 2 base all in. This is seeing 2 extra maxes instead of a 3rd CC, so a 5 rack setup on 2 bases. Cure's gonna double down. He's gonna commit. It's gonna be all or nothing for Cure. It's gonna hit very, very hard. And herO, does he scout? He gets in. Yeah, he gets further in, and he does confirm both extra maxes. He sees everything in the main. So herO, he knows what's going on. Once again, he's being proactive. Can he get a Marauder? Ooh, I'll pick up. Nice save there by Cure. Saves the Marauder. 1 Stalker goes down. Does, oh, a crazy blink. Oh my god. That was not worth it. Stalker goes down. herO, he's in danger. He's in trouble. He's racing back home. He needs Zealot Warpins. But even then, he might not have enough. Cure's still rallying. Cure's rallying. He's containing herO. Double drop into the main. Oh. As herO does face check up the ramp. Remember, still no splash damage, and I have to favor Cure here. Does force a recall. Recalls into the main base. Oh, Stalkers are exposed, getting 2 Stalkers already. And Cure's pushing in. Cure's pushing in. The double drop is going to be cleaned up though. Yeah, herO cleans up the double drop at the same time. Depowers everything in the natural. The Archosis Pylon. Denies +1. Depowers the Robo. Catching up more Stalkers, more sentries. And remember, Cure's rallying. Cure's rallying. The Zealots, they do great tanking though. There are so many charge lots. And charge will say rally in. herO in the midst of this defense gets a 4th Nexus. Very greedy. Bold move out of herO. Remember, Cure, he's 2 base all in. He has no 3rd. He has no 3rd CC. This has to kill. This has to win the game. And on the one hand, dropping into the main base did distract herO, but it also meant that the main push was weaker. So there was a bit of a give and take. Nice kiting out of Cure. He will snipe every Zealot. Every Zealot goes down. He wants those Stalkers. The blink does not break the lock on. That's another 2 Stalkers going down. 3 Stalkers survive. herO, he's barely holding on. And again, was he too greedy getting a Nexus? I feel like he was. Remember, this is a 2 base all in. We don't need a 4th base. That could have been extra Warpins. That could have been extra Gateways. It's crazy. How many gates won on? 8. hero's done it. Yeah, Cure, he's losing that confidence. Double eBay. 2 eBays get thrown down. Again, Cure's been on 0-0 this entire time, but seeing these 2 eBays tells us, yeah, he feels that he cannot win. He cannot kill. But he will get the 4th. So let's get the 4th base. Nice catching the reinforcements. Cure going further in. +1 does complete. The Cure gets further into the bases. 4 probes going down. Yeah, gets full workers, does pick up. And once again, while he distracts in the main, we have a rally headed towards the 3rd. Let's head for the 3rd base. Here is being pulled apart. Oh. Cure does rally in. Takes down the pylon, denies the warp in. Not bad. Does he snap the immortal? Barely not. Here he's barely holding on. And again, we're getting messy. We're getting very messy here. herO, he was overly greedy. He gets punished for it. He will lose the expansion. At the same time, Cure, he admits that he cannot kill, and he's also working and trying to get into the mid game with a very late 3rd CC with late 1-1 upgrades. But Cure, he's getting there. And he finds more damage in the main. Yeah, boys are being pulled. That's going to be another 8 probes going down. How many probes have gone down in total? 28! Oh, Jesus. Oh no, there's no dead space. The medevac. Oh my god. Barely gets out. That doesn't, he does not get away. Yeah, no dead space here. So again, we're getting very messy. Very, very messy. Here, he lost a little of economy. He lost 28 probes. He lost a base. He lost an expansion. He was delayed when it came to his production. A lot of buildings were being depowered. So it was a very messy defense here by herO. But he does hold. At the same time, Cure, he's trying to macro out of this. And Cure does have the better economy. Straight up. Cure, he's up on SCVs. He has mules as well. Does have a stronger economy. But can he survive? Oh. herO making his way into the main. He does have high ground vision. Blinks in. Going for add-ons. He does attract Cure. Cure splits off after his army. And there are no bunkers on the high ground. Here he's going for it. He commits. Commits in, he gets one, he gets one medevac, gets another. A lot of medevacs going to be going down. Jesus. Yeah, 4 or 5 medevac kills at the same time. The Stalkers, they get punished, and there's just too much fire. There's too much man with gun. Cure, he stims, and he wins, takes down all the Zealots, the Immortals, and the Stalkers have to get the hell out of here. herO, he cannot win a head-on fight, not like this, not without splash damage. Not like this. And herO plummets in supply. And Cure, he confirms, still no 4th. Still no 4th expansion. Still not yet done. Prism eventually got hunted down by the Liberators. The Freedom Pappy. And I don't see herO defending against this. I mean, he does have a Colossus, true. There is now a Colossi, but God, the checkpoint is brutal. Pushing into Freedom Zones. Liberators just punish the ground army. They punish. And Curie trades so efficiently. More Liberation Zones have arrived. Diving on the Colossus, he stims in. He stims on 4. There's no way out of this. And with that Cure, he will break the 4th base. Breaks down the army, breaks the expansion. herO, he has nothing left. He's down to 1 Stalker. 1 surviving Stalker. Let's go. At this point, Cure just going for the kill. Slipping into the natural. There's now 1 Colossus. We're down to 3 Stalkers and 1 Colossus. The Caribbean GG gets called, and Cure, he will take game number 1. He'll take a lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. As Cure does take a lead. Also, I do apologize. I did just realize that the in-game overlay is incorrect. So I will fix that. My apologies. One moment. This is not wrong, E-Cup. There we go. Oh, but GG well played. Cure does take a lead in the series, and with that, we'll see if herO can recover and bounce back. Winding it back here, when it comes to 10,000 feet, Cure was hyper aggressive. We saw him commit into the initial 3-axe, into the 5-axe follow-up, into a 2-base all-in, and we saw that he was able to cripple herO's economy. Likewise, herO was also being very greedy. Like, herO, in the face of a 2-base all-in, took a 4th. That was insane. So he was not able to maintain it. He lost 28 probes and the 4th expansion, and Cure was also trading efficiently against the gateway composition. And with that, Cure just tore herO apart. Again, just a little bit too greedy there. herO did scout, by the way. This is where I have to put some onus on herO, because with the hallucination, he saw the initial 3-axe, he saw the early sim timing, and he saw the 5-axe follow-up as well. He saw everything he needed to, but again, he was just a little bit overly greedy. He did decide to not go into splash damage. He did decide to go into a very gateway heavy composition instead, which is reliant on a greater economy, which is reliant on that production, on those warp ins, on surrounds as well, ideally, but didn't quite occur. Nice drop play out of Cure, by the way. Nice drop play pulling apart the army. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're now going to be getting into game number 2. Going to be loading into Tourmaline. Let's go. We'll see if herO can extend his lead. We'll see if herO can fight back. And spawning in the top right-hand corner here of Tourmaline, we have the red Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss representing T1. It is herO. And spawning in the left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is herO. Let's go. Let's go. Bienvenidos, papi, bienvenidos. So yeah, when did herO join Team Liquid? It's been a couple of years. Apparently in 2023. Feels longer, to be honest. I would agree with that. Like, herO has been on Team Liquid for a long time. Before that, I think he was on DPG? I think he was on Dragon Phoenix Gaming before that. But has been on TL for quite some time. But I do apologize. Thank you, Sinistra. Thank you for reminding. But yeah, I had the wrong in-game overlay. It is PiGosaur Cup. Gracias, Sinistro. Obrigado. As once again, double gas opener by herO, going for a faster factory, going for a delayed CC. Did you already cast the final? The finals are live tonight. Yesterday we casted the semis. The grand finals are live tonight in like 12 hours. In 11 hours. 11 hours time is going to be the finals of Rongi Cup. Tentatively in 11 hours. I say tentatively because for those that are unaware, Rongi Cup is a multi-game event, like a multi-esport event. So there's Valorant and maybe some other esports as well. And the way that the broadcast is going to work is that SC Boy and the casting team, they're going to be casting the other esport titles first and then StarCraft. So the start time for the StarCraft finals depends on how long the Valorant finals takes. So it's going to be the Valorant finals first, and then when that finishes, then the StarCraft finals begins. But it kind of depends on like how long the Valorant finals takes. For now, though, again, we did have our double gas opener. This did not lead into too heavy of Reaper Hellion. It was just a single Reaper into a faster add-on swap into Cyclone, into his 1/1/1. So again, a very different opener here by herO, opening up Cyclone to shut down the Adept to be able to expand. But herO does delay the CC. He delays by a couple of seconds. At the same time, Reaper dips in, confirms the tech, confirms the blink. Twilight Council has been spotted. We have 2 gateways in the main base, so 2 gate blinks so far. And we're expecting additional gateways here at the natural. Remember, this is a smaller map, welcome to Tourmaline. Smaller map, so aggression is favored. We're expecting safer play at a herO. Nice control here by herO. He pulls back the Reaper. Does pull back. There's the 3rd gateway. We have 3 gate blinks so far. Do we go for a 4th gateway? Do we just commit? Eyes are on herO. Meanwhile, herO, he himself is going for earlier tank production. So add-on swap into tank. And looks like herO will not get a 4th gateway. Okay. So just 3 gate blink. 3 gate blink into a 3rd. A relatively safe build here by herO. So he pulls away. Would wrench up into the main. My drop does come in. Oh, So final major damage, good reactions here by herO. At the same time, we do have the Slack going getting into the third. Oof. As I'll be losing a Stalker. So gets 2 probes, gets a Stalker. Not a bad trade here by herO. And again, Curie's building up. Academy slowly building up. Getting into a second tank. Add-on swapping to Stim. And it's going to be on herO to just defend to turtle until he finishes Stim. Until he can move out. Oh no! Oh my Jesus. Calm down, herO. Calm down. As a matter of fact, barely gets away. There's still a drop out there. There's still Widowmine. Can always go back in. herO looking for a way into the main base, and the add-ons are somewhat exposed, but there's a tank in position. I don't really see herO doing much here. But he's looking. Looking for damage. As opposed to last game, this time it's going to be an earlier bait and a later charge, so earlier Colossus production. And after an intense game 1 and after an intense quarterfinals match, we're slowing things down. We're slowing things down. herO getting into his own 3 base economy, likewise Cure building up on 2 bases. herO jumping into the mineral line, gets 2 SCVs. And should slip away. Does pull away, does intercept. herO back at home, still amassing more Colossus. And Cure can soon start to move out. Yes, Stim. Stim is now done. Zed moving out with his double drop. I don't see a 3rd CC yet. We should be seeing one soon. Cure does bring everything together. Does snipe the observer. herO, he won't see whether or not there's an expansion. herO, he does delay. And he delays the move out. Back at home is built up to 2 Colossus. herO going for the Zalarambai. Ideally, this should be to deny the 3rd, but there is none. There's no 3rd CC. Not yet. Curie's pushing in. And you can see how bare bones this army is. Again, there are just so many Zelds across the map. The Stalkers as well. Curie does push in. Here he's exposed. Massive anti-armor missile. Yeah, the armor shot on the Colossus. Zealots, they just melt. Curie, can he push in? Can he break through? He's distracted. Oof. Mind shot goes off. Reinforcements have arrived. And here he does hold. Yeah, barely does hold on. The tanks does survive. Now, what's scary about what just happened here? Cure never got a 3rd. he never got a 3rd base. Now he throws one down. 3rd CC just now begins, but it is so delayed. Here's getting a 4th. Again, herO did hold. Cure had potential, 100%. He had potential to break herO then and there, but honestly, herO, with his army being all over the place, it actually kind of worked out in the end, as he was able to stagger his reinforcements, come in for the surround, come in for the flank. Actually did work quite well for him. And with that, herO holds, and herO, he has a greater economy. 66 workers to 50. herO's getting his 4th base just to maintain that greater economy. And now switching into disruptors. He can do this because, hey, the Colossus survived. Like, the Colossus, they survived the fight. So now he can build up his disruptors. 2nd starport's on the way for Cure, and Cure, he has a lot of catching up to do. He's going to be outscaled. I'll be honest, I don't see Cure defending his 3rd. He's going to take it, don't get me wrong. He'll take his 3rd base, but hero's going to have a window here where he can just build up into a critical army and then push into the 3rd before Cure can really catch up. We spoke earlier, but the 3rd base here is very open. It's very accessible. Here we go. Hero's making 2 disruptors at a time. Now saturating his 4th base. Getting a 5th as well. It's not going to be easy here for Cure. Massing his army. Quickly checking here, no Ghost Academy yet, so no Ghost, no EMPs. He does have a heavy Viking count. He did get a 2nd starboard. That is true. So he's got plenty of Vikings, but remember, here is switching into disruptors. The Colossus, they aren't as important, they aren't as integral. There's a scan. Once again, very nice armor shred. Shreds the armors on the Colossus. Shows us Novas as what? 4 disruptors. There's 4 Novas available. Here he has to pull away. Hero is almost maxed. So almost maxed out. And here he's moving in. He's moving in. From here, he's still lacking some reinforcements. Thankfully for Cure, there's no War Prism. Oh my god, Novas go off. Jesus, massive connections. A little bit trigger happy there, though. Yes, here he spams all the Novas. Nova does zone away. And again, here you can see he has a massive bank. Here he had no proxy pylon, he had no War Prism, he had no way to reinforce. So delayed warp-ins here from Hero. Delayed reinforcements. It's giving Cure some time to breathe. Unfortunately, Hero, he saved all the disruptors. He still has all those Novas. Still has the Novas. Speaking of. They're spread out. One Nova does connect. Oof. They're catching on the Marines. Cure gets some nice last second splits. As again, here his reinforcements are still very delayed. Can he break through? He blinks in, gets 1. Yeah, 1, 2, gets all 3 Liberators. Novas are popping up. And we get some decent spreads there by Cure. Some decent spreads. Meanwhile, a big shout to Baby Lings in the chat. God, baby, God. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for resubscribing and for the gift of subs as well. Thank you, thank you. Do appreciate it. Este Baby Lings. Subscribing for 45 months. Crazy, crazy. 45 months and for 5 gifted subs. Thank you, thank you. Do appreciate it. Hope you're doing well, by the way. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're recovering well. As we're currently in the semifinals of PiGosaur Cup. In the semis. Meanwhile, as Hero's distracting here at the 3rd base, we have Zealot run by in towards the natural. I mean, that is a lot of Liberators. But Zealots take it in. They distract. Hero doesn't quite push into the Liberation Zone, though. Hero pulls away. And you might be looking at this being like, okay, so Hero, he cannot break the 3rd. True, true, he can't break it, but he's still trading. He's still trading, he's still just rebuilding, remaxing. Hero has a massive bank. Hero has 6 bases. And he can afford to trade it efficiently. He can afford it. As Hero, he rotates over, looking for another way in. Jesus, how many 9 Liberators! That's... oh my god. That's a lot of liberation, papi. Ay, ay, ay. Now, I will say that typically when you're in this kind of position, one, herO should be taking another base, and he does go for the center expansion. Once you see a high liberator count like this, it's typically advised to go for a fleet beacon, a Stargate, and get ready for a Tempest, switch. That's kind of what you want to go for. But I mean, the other option, of course, is if you have a large enough bank, you can just like trade inefficiently anyway. Just like dive in, have a bad trade, but hey, just kill like 5 liberators in the process. He gets 1. Gets 2. Jesus, he goes in. Yeah, he goes in, goes to dive. 3 liberators go down. Does come through the army, not bad. Never goes off. Nova's they zone away. Flips his own army towards the end. Calm down here, calm down. As herO takes every other base on the map, taking top left and bottom right. Mass expanding. Still 9 liberators here for Cure. As herO does take the other bases. Aye, aye, aye. There's 1 base left next to herO's army. Now, what is Cure's win condition? Now, if herO takes a really bad fight, if he blinks in and if he fails to really kill any meaningful damage or deal any meaningful damage, even though he gets like, what, 2, 3, 4 liberators, but he loses a massive chunk of his army, that should trigger a counterattack. That triggers a counterattack. Because we're on Tourmaline, a counterattack, it takes seconds to get across the map, and Cure can try to end the game and push in towards the main and push in towards the production. That's maybe best case scenario for Cure. Is just hope that herO takes a bad fight. Now Cure, he does leave his army sieged up at his natural. herO rotates, liberators out of position. Oh, blinks in. Gets a CC. Mass Novas don't connect with too much. Cure finds an opening. Kills CC. Kills the command center. Takes down 2 lives, Nova connects. And that's all the herO needs to do. Just trade. Trade, pick up some key units. Pull away, rebuild. Cure does kill an Nexus, and Cure takes the center expansion, or at least he tries to. Oh, another crazy blink. Again, not the best trade too by herO, but he does break through 4 of those liberators. 5, 6 liberators going down. Almost gets all of them. Almost everyone. Jesus. There are so many Novas. Oh my god. There are so many Novas, but he pulls back to cannons and shield batteries. Here come the reinforcements, and hero's done it. At this point, he has done it. Cure could not afford to lose that much. Losing his final liberators. The Novas are popping up. They connect back. And herO does overwhelm. At the same time, Cure did kill another expansion, but GG gets called, and herO ties up the series 1-1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. We are now tied up here. Again, Cure just had a really rough start. Winding it back, Cure, he was hyper committed on 2 bases, and he failed to break the natural. He failed to break herO. If you recall, we're referring to the moment when he moved out across the map. He had his tanks. He was able to land the armor shred on the Colossus, but he wasn't able to kill the Colossus. Wasn't able to capitalize. And we did emphasize that after that push failed, Cure didn't have a third. Didn't have a third TC. He didn't have a base. Didn't have an expansion. He wasn't really built to get into a longer game. He didn't have the setup for it, and he fell behind. He fell behind. He stayed behind. Yes, eventually he took a third base, but he had to fight so hard for that third. Meanwhile, herO had every other expansion on the map. GG. GG, well played. Again, just because of the failed 2-base all-in previously. And that leads us into game 3. We'll see who takes the lead in the series. Who does put that point on the board? Let's go. Going to be loading into the Old Republic. Fully recovered. Oh, let's go. Let's go. Good to hear. Good to hear. Good to hear. As spawning in the top right hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing T1. It is herO. Tying up the series 1-1, and spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Here we go. And again, we've just seen a very aggressive and assertive Cure so far tonight, both against Max Packs and even Game 1 and Game 2 against herO as well. But now aggression's not going to be so favored coming into a larger map. Welcome to the Old Republic, one of the larger maps in the map pool, longer rush distance by ground. I will say that the 3rd and 4th bases are more open and more exposed. That is true, but that's typically in the mid game. So we should be seeing Cure kind of shift gears a little bit, to be a little bit more economic instead, and work towards a longer and later game. But we'll see. We shall see. Likewise, just because this map does favor longer and later in at least the mid game, that doesn't mean that herO is going to take it lying down, doesn't mean that he's going to take it slow. herO, he's known for being aggressive and very assertive and very dynamic and crazy. So we could see extra gateways here. We could see extra gateways. Eyes are on herO. So far, standard opener. Cure does open up with a single gas. So economic opener out of Cure as well. Yeah, so just calming things down here in game number 3. Calming things down. Also should remind as well that this is a best of 5, not a best of 3, best of 5. So we still have plenty more games ahead of us. This is something more unique to PiGosaur Cup. Is a best of 5s in the semifinals. And also Clem is waiting. Clem is waiting for the winner of the series in the grand finals. He's waiting, Pat. He's waiting. Curious just settling down, getting to zone 111. Nothing tech heavy, nothing crazy. We have our tech of choice, Twilight Council opener out of herO. We should point this out, every game so far it has been a Twilight Council, but herO, he is one to mix in Stargate play or mix in Robo play. It's more rare, but does happen from time to time. Especially in the best of 5. In the best of 5, herO is very fond of even going proxy Stargate, for example. We see that a lot against Clem. And Curious scouting. Yeah, it does check the edge just in case. I don't blame him. Making sure there's no Stargate, there's no pylon, no gateway. Likewise, your herO also slips in, also confirms the 111 and the Widow Mine drop. Oh, it's been a while, but we have a much more committed mine drop here out of Cure. Okay. Again, Widow Mine drops used to be a little more standard and common in meta. This was back a couple of years ago before the nerf. Before the nerfs, as there were a lot of nerfs to the Widow Mine. This would have been, what, in 2023-ish era of StarCraft, but mine drops used to be the go-to, like double Widow Mine drop, triple Widow Mine drop, quadruple mine drop, continued mine drop as well. If you don't quite recall the patch that was added, and again, I think that was like a couple of years ago at this point, it was the change which actually created an alert. Before, you would only get an alert when an attack occurred, but now the defending player, the Protoss player, or defending player in general, does get an alert when the Widow Mine does burrow, when it burrows instead of targets. So you get a couple of seconds of an earlier kind of response, an earlier reaction. On top of that, the splash damage was lessened, the radius was reduced. So when mine shots would go off, they'd kill less probes. Again, it was like 3 or 4 different nerfs that hit the Widow Mine, and it did kind of kill off committed mine drops like this. But hey, Curie gets away with 2. Does get away with 2. 9 probes go down. There's still 1 Widow Mine in the main. But again, it was reduced damage. It was reduced, reduced radius, reduced damage, depending on how spread out your units are. The alert. And since then, committed mine drop openers have been quite rare. They're not seen as often. Here, Curie gets some decent damage. He kills 4 probes for 2 mines and 2 Hellions, and then, hey, there's still 2 mines left over. Try to go back in. Which is calming down. Third CC at Akira. Again, this is like the most chill, the most macro game we've seen so far in tonight's broadcast, including the previous series of Max Packs. But we're just calming down, slowly building up. As we mentioned at the start of the game, a big reason for this is just the map itself. Just mid-game is a lot more common. Early game aggression is weaker. So, like, no rush 8 minutes. herO pokes in. He confirms the CC. So here he should feel safe to get a 4th base. And we should be seeing one soon. Here, instead of getting a 4th, he gets double forge. I mean, we're still the same thing here. We're just building up into a longer game. Double forge, double upgrades, Temple Archives for Storm. Colossus are amassing. Just throwing down all the tech. Now, if we are just getting to a standard mid-game here, this is where I am a little bit concerned for Cure. In a standard game, in a TVP, typically the Protoss player will be up in bases, up in economy, and typically they will have map control. This is something that Cure has to fight for. If he fails to do so, if he's contained back at home, then we're going to see a very similar situation to last game, where Cure was stuck on 3 bases and Cure could never expand. Here, it's going to be similar, where the 4th base is very difficult to maintain, whether it's this low ground 4th expansion here, where it's on the low ground, you can be attacked and assaulted from the left and from the right hand side, or the base on the right here, where there's also a massive opening, a massive kind of arc or concave available into the 4th expansion, where it's also very spread out and isolated from the rest of your bases. So defending these 4th bases can be very difficult as the Terran player, and it's not going to be easy. Here's taking his own 4th, but it's easier for the Protoss just because typically the Protoss has map control. Typically the Protoss is the aggressor. Typically. So we're building up. Here he will soon skyrocket ahead in terms of his army. This is where the soup does lie. You might be looking at this and being like, oh, but Cure, he does have that supply lead. Well, if you remember, herO did invest into all this tech first, right? He did prioritize his tech. He delayed his 4th. So it's going to take a little bit longer for the economy to kick in to be able to boost his production. But now Storm is done. Storm is complete. So is 1-1. Can soon start up 2-2. And Cure is getting his 4th. And again, there's no reason for herO to push. Not yet. There's no reason until Cure expands. So here he wants to wait for Cure to expose himself, to try to take a 4th base, whether it's the low ground 4th or the linear 4th. Here he's just waiting. Observer got spotted. Observer got spotted. Oh, there we go. Dust scan. Here getting a 5th. Main army's moving in. And as we mentioned, here he wants to wait for the army to move down and expose itself here on the low ground. herO should not push up this ramp. And here comes Cure. Here comes the move out. There's that high ground vision. Storm is coming in. Ooh, nice EMPs. Yeah, very nice EMPs. High tempo, they get called out. 0 storms available, and herO is overextending. Here he does overextend. He has to back up. Again, those EMPs were insane. Catching out the Colossus, and Cure holds. Cure, he defends well. Again, 1 EMP landed with what I want to say like 5 High Templar. As here he was clumped. He was too clumped up. A crazy blink. He blinks into the tanks. And tank does punish. And Cure should be able to expand. Here it does not have enough. Doesn't have enough here. Cure doesn't know that, so he's playing scared. He's taking his time. But Curie's now maxed. Cure, he's maxed out. Again, one good fight is sometimes all you need. And as we mentioned, here he did not have to push up the ramp. Like, those just had to wait on the low ground pad. But here he got too excited. He got too excited. And here he has to get the hell out of here. Has to pull away. Ooh. Storm does zone. Oh, catching a Bow Templar, not a single storm lands there. And Templar go down Prism as well. We can see that here is switching into Sky Toss, but this is late. This is a late switch into Sky Toss. Considering the game state. Because Cure, he's pushing. Like, Cure, he has momentum, he has an army. Here, he doesn't have time for Sky Toss. He was moving in at the same time as Zelsay coming for the run by. Storm does graze the army. Does graze. Planetary's not done. A decent harass here from herO. Killing 13, 14, 15 SCVs. Oh my god. Yeah, Storm lands at the same time. These Zelsay popping off. They're killing everything. Zelsay cripple Cure. And Cure's all in. And Cure's overstimmed. Oh my god. Heavily overstimmed. Trying to chase down the Colossus. Stalkers a punish. More Vikings going to be going down. And these Zelsay still popping off 29 SCV kills. And they're still doing more damage. He rotates to the right hand side. Here he pulls the voice. Let's go. Does pull the voice. Storm comes in. Massive storm. And herO holds. herO does barely hold on. Oof, catching out a full medevac. Doesn't save the Colossus. We're getting messy. Yeah, we're getting messy here. As Cure does re-expand, but he's down to 49 SCVs. At the same time, here he saved that Nexus. He saved his 5th, now his 4th. So he saved his 4th base. Now we have a center 5th on the way. Here can rebuild and remax. And again, Cure, he had this game, but the MVPs for herO were the Zealot run buys. The Zealot run buys, Zealot counterattacks. Again, 29 SCVs went down. It was crazy damage. It's crazy. And Cure, he failed to kill. Failed to kill across the map. Nice EMP. Once again, here he clumps up the High Templar. We gotta stop clumping back. Yeah, that's gonna be the final storm. Does land though. And we have more storms coming in. Yeah, more High Templar, they trickle in. There's going to be 2 storms available. Cure barely holding on. Does get a flanking Templar. Ooh, is the Ghost exposed? Yeah, catching out 3 Ghosts. Here he's almost maxed. He's almost maxed out. We've been here before, but here he has no Prism, he has no Pylon, so it does take a long time to reinforce his army, but they're coming. Reinforcements are coming. Here does try to push up the ramp. Does manage to find a CC. Takes down one of the bases. Does surround the army. Yeah, Zelsay collapse in, going for the planetary. Massive storm on the SCVs. No repairs. And again, that was the mining base for Cure. GG gets called, Cure is broken, and herO takes a lead in the series 2-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, a very intense game 3 here. Cure initially had the advantage. Cure took a better fight. Remember, this all began with herO overextending up the ramp. herO had the advantage. He had map control, and we spoke about it as it was happening. We were like, hey, herO, all he has to do is wait for Cure to move down to the low ground. And herO didn't wait. He pushed up the ramp instead. herO took a bad fight. He lost his Colossus, his High Templar. He got like 5 High Templar EMP'd by 1 Ghost. It was crazy. And Cure was able to max. He was the first player to max out. He was able to be secure on 4 bases, and then he pushed. But because Cure was maxed, it meant that when herO went for the run by, when he went for the Zealot counterattack, there were no reinforcements. There was no production because Cure had no spare supply to work with. That's the one downside of maxing out like that and moving out with everything, is that you have no reinforcements to deal with those Zealots, which typically would be the case. So that was insane damage. As Cure was pushing, herO killed 29 SCVs, was able to cripple the economy of Cure and force him all in. He wasn't all in, he didn't have to be, but he was forced into it because of those Zealots, and we saw that Cure didn't have enough. He killed the center base, killed a couple of Colossus, but not much more than that. GG. GG, well played. With that, herO takes the lead. Now we're going to be loading into game number 4. We'll see if Cure can force the ace match. Can he force the ace match back? Because we're loading into Ruby Rock. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss representing T1, leading the series 2-1. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Terran player setting out an SCV very early on. We have the South Korean Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Goes. Cure does move out with the SCV. I believe this is to avoid the initial probe scout and to come in with an eBay. Otherwise, we might just proxy racks. Yeah, there's no racks back at home. Oh boy. There we go. The proxy has been thrown down. We have our initial racks. Bearing in mind that there's only 1 SCV. So I'm leaning towards... Jeez, I'm getting deja vu. herO versus Cure, IM Katowice 2024. Was it the quarterfinals of IM Katowice? It was on Golden Aura? Was it on Golden Aura? When Cure went Proxy Marauder. He went Proxy Marauder and he knocked herO out of IM. That memory is burned into my skull. That was Aye. But here we go. We have the racks being thrown down, gas is being taken back at home, and are we going for the tech lab? Show us what you got. Just Reaper. Okay, just Reaper, no tech lab, and no Marauders. So very light aggression here from Cure, not committed. Now this can kill some probes. It can kill some probes, but behind this, Cure should be transitioning and macroing out of this. Initial Reaper does move out. Bunker gets thrown down as well. Thankfully, we do get a shield battery in time. And with that battery, herO will be able to defend. It's going to be on herO to minimize losses, to pull back the weekend probes. He's going to lose 2. Just barely not. Clutch micro out of herO. Does get 2. Yeah, 2 probes go down. Reaper does pivot around, heads towards the bunker, and the bunker will finish. Barely does complete. Likewise, so does the shield battery. And so far, it's been a nice start. With this, Cure, he was able to get 2 probe kills. He was able to force out a shield battery, keep the Stalker busy back at home, force out a Stalker as well. And again, Cure is expanding. There is a downside to this, and that is that this bunker is going to be killed. If you recall, before the patch, this bunker, I mean, it would be a little bit of an easier and more justified response here by the Terran because they can salvage, but no longer is that the case. Cannot salvage. So a bigger investment here by the Terran. As herO kills the bunker, back at home we do have a would-be 2-1-1 setup, 3 rank setup. Okay. Second and third ranks get thrown down, Cure is going for an early stim timing. So stim is on the way, combat shields, a heavy bio composition. We've been here before, just like against Max Packs. If we see no starport, this is indicative of a 2-base all-in. This could be a later 2-base all-in with a 4th and 5th racks as well. So we'll keep an eye on the racks count. Welcome to Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock is a very small map in the map pool. Another Cyclone! No! Late reaction! Yeah, late reaction, Cyclone goes down. Massive pickoff here for herO. herO does snipe that Cyclone. Delays a CC. This should not have happened. Ooh, big delay here. Again, this should not have happened. Cure, he was just inattentive with his army. Tank does arrive, and Cure can finally expand. But a very delayed natural. Now the question becomes, because of the delay, because of the damage dealt early on, is Cure tempted to commit into an all-in? We'll see. We shall see. Yep, throws down to 1 eBay for +1. It's going to be a +1 timing. Oh boy. Meanwhile, herO going into DTs. I'm getting a little bit of deja vu. We saw something similar here on Rongi Cup, if you recall. Or, sorry, was it even this week's PiGosaur Cup? But going into DTs like this, going for the Dark Shrine, it can work really well. DTs, of course, especially if Cure is going for a 2-base all-in, scans are going to be very limited. Scans are very, very limited, so Dark Templar can kill. Sorry, I said it was PiGosaur Cup. It was Rongi Cup. Yeah, it was Rongi Cup, Maru versus Trigger. Maru versus Trigger, we had a very similar situation where Maru went for a 2-base all-in. I believe this was on Tourmaline, and Trigger, he tried to react with DTs, but because the map was so small, Maru, he was able to deal critical damage anyway. Was able to deal critical damage and shut Trigger down. That was what, 2 days ago? Yesterday? Yesterday, yeah. Do you see what I see? Oh. Here at the natural, 2 more racks is hidden behind the mineral line, 2-base all-in. So we have confirmation. We have confirmation. It's going to be a 2-base all-in. Again, he's hiding those raxes. These raxes should not have add-ons. It's just to reinforce with extra marines. As Cure is getting extra raxes instead of getting a 3rd CC. So this is going to hit like a truck. Meanwhile, the Dark Shrine is now done. There are 4 DTs moving out. Once again, one of the big advantages for herO is that because this is going to be an all-in, scans are limited. There's a 1 scan available in the main. No, he just muled! He just muled. Okay, no scan in the main. He's soon going to have 1 scan at the natural. But DTs, they go in and they go for the tank. They go for the army. Tank goes down. There's still no scan. Yeah, 0 scans. Yeah, 0 scans. Marines are falling. Missile target gets thrown down. Scan is almost ready. Still needs a couple of seconds. Oof, oh god. There's the first scan. 1 DT does waddle away. Turret will finish, but that's still going to be 15, 16 dead SCVs. Ay, ay, ay. Critical damage. There's still more Dark Templar. There's still no scan available. And the all-in is delayed. The all-in is delayed. The all-in is stifled. You might be looking at this and be like, oh, hey, it's a 2-base all-in. Do you really need SCVs? The answer is yes, right? You need to be able to facilitate and support the all-in. As has been heavily delayed. There's another scan. Curie moves out. And here he should be ready for this. He is warping in extra DTs. His main base is exposed. DTs are slipping to the main. Here comes that Doom Drop. Here is out of position. It's all or nothing for Cure. Drops into the mineral line. herO trying to engage, trickling in with Zealots. Cure going for the Nexus. Does snipe the expansion. Does get the base, but honestly the base didn't really matter that much. herO, he was already getting a 4th. And you can see the disparity here. Cure, he has 36 SCVs. Barely a 2-base economy. Barely. But just under, really. Now so we have DT's just parked outside. The Invisible Man is pretty good. They're pretty good. God. Yeah, just free damage on the army. There's still no scan. Yep, still no scan. We'll have one in a couple of seconds. There we go. 50 energy. Here's the scan. As dire as this is for Cure, he still has a massive army. In a head-on fight, he might still take this. Might still take this. So if a massive Doom Drop making his way into the main. Stalkers are in position. Uh-oh. Stalkers are ready. But I say boost in. And, oh, they will unload. Okay, they get past the Stalkers. Forcing a recall. But the armor was in position. Stalkers, they dive on. Yeah, they dive on in. And Cure's gonna lose everything. Yeah, he will lose everything in the main. As more Zelts are pushing forward. And Cure did not have enough. But this does at least escape with his 5 medevacs. Does get away. If you're wondering why is this so close, the gases are very late here for herO. The tech is delayed as well. So Cure's army is still holding its own. No. A little bit inattentive. And bleeds out too many Marines. Dropping the main base is being cleaned up. herO, he defends. He defends the main. He defends on the front lines as well. And Cure, he has nothing left. GG gets called. herO, he will take the series 3-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations to herO. He will claim the series. Again, Cure, he had a little potential with this 2-base Olin, but the Invisible Man, the DTs did so much damage, delaying the push, killing 16 SCVs, even sniping a tank, sniping some bio units as well, and just crippling and hindering Cure's all in before it could really move out. He still had a massive army and he was still somewhat trading well, but he had no economy behind it. He had 36 SCVs. He couldn't sustain himself, could not get into a longer game. The longer the game went on, the easier it became for herO. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations. herO does advance on into the grand finals, and we do have our 2 finalists ready for us. Here we go. Let us switch our scenes over and catch up on the bracket again. Clem has been patiently waiting. Clem took down a Solar 3-1, took down Shameless 2-0, and Clem has been waiting in the grand finals. Meanwhile, herO took down Young Yakov, herO took down Cure 3-1, and now it's going to be Clem versus herO in a TVP best of 5 grand finals. Let's go. The grand finals are upon us. We are going to be cutting to a short break. We're going to be cutting to a short break here, and when we come back, we'll have those grand finals. We'll have that TVP ready for you. Again, herO and Clem, they are the best Terran and Protoss players in the world, respectively. They're the best in the world, and they face off quite often. They often go back and forth in series because they play so often in these open tournaments. One week it can go Clem's way, the other week it can go herO's way. Could go either way here. We're here to find out. We're here to find out for PiGosaur Cup number 63. For now, though, enjoy the break. Enjoy the break. Enjoy the brutal OST. Get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain your disruptors, massage your Marines, and we'll be back soon with those finals. See you soon. See you soon. See you soon.